Welcome back to LimQ Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until the sequel Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today in 67 days. I want to talk about my biggest wish for Tears of the Kingdom today, which I've been kind of reflecting on recently. We've, on this channel, even most recently talked about some of the classics, like dungeons, soundtrack potentially for some. But there's actually one change that I would really wish for in Tears of the Kingdom that I think would really catapult the game from a great video game that I love to something I will forever cherish, almost. Would do also, as you could maybe not tell, there's a balloon up there, a Korok seed, kind of a tricky one to get, especially from down here. Also, I will be doing basically the shrine quest for these little birdies here. I'm not exactly sure if I've ever talked to the bird on the other side yet. That would be interesting to know. I'm gonna check that real quick before I go into my biggest wish, which I can already tease is gonna be character building. What does that mean? And isn't that something that's exclusive to RPGs with character creation, etc.? I feel bad. Okay, I have talked to the bird on the other side. I just wanted to make sure. Character build. What does that mean? I teased this in previous videos before. It doesn't have to be like, and here it comes again. I know people are already going to be like, oh my god, LimQ and his Elden Ring fetish. It doesn't have to be like Elden Ring, where you have different starting classes and character creation, which obviously you will not have in Tears of the Kingdom as you're going to be playing as Link. But it can also work in other ways. A good option here is Hollow Knight. I'm kind of explaining to you what character building means in my mind, right? It basically means customizing the way you play the game by making specific choices, being able to optimize more into one build than another. I'm also going to tell you how I would basically move that concept over to Tears of the Kingdom in a second. But let me talk about Hollow Knight. So in Hollow Knight, the way it works is you basically have charms. What do charms do? They are little like talismans, amulets, I would say, that you can equip. And when you have them equipped, then certain attributes of your playstyle will change. An example would be you can now jump extra. You can jump higher. You can dash more. You can slash your nail, Hollow Knight's weapon, faster. So let's, I had a video a long time ago where I kind of made up some charms for Breath of the Wild for fun. But just because some of you have only recently started watching this channel, let's imagine a simple charm for Breath of the Wild. Let's say you equip this charm. It's an option here, a new tab in the inventory. You can equip, let's say, 5 charms at once. And there's one that increases your spear damage by 25%. Sounds kind of lame at first. But obviously, what this basically would allow us to do when it comes to casual playthrough would add infinite replayability. And why? Because not even necessarily replayability, but also replayability, sorry, my thoughts are not like super structured, but you could basically make a spear build, right? Let's say you have one charm that gives you 25% damage on spears, one that lets you attack faster using spears, one that increases your elemental damage, so maybe you would actually prioritize on using the frost spear a lot, etc., and basically make a build perfectly catered towards the frost spear. So you're doing a frost spear build when playing the game right now. Again, if these systems are even in place for Tears of the Kingdom, I highly doubt. I'm just telling you what my personal wish is. This is something that I love in video games. All of my favorite recent video games, Hollow Knight, Hades, Elden Ring, have a feature like that. And my favorite part about these video games is thinking of a build and then optimizing it. So for example, in Elden Ring, it could be, I'm playing the weapon, the Mariah's Executioner's Blade, like kind of like a drill spin weapon, and then I make a build using talismans and specific sorceries that work perfectly with that weapon to maximize that. And the reason I said it would add replayability is suddenly you could maybe do one playthrough of Tears of the Kingdom where you play a spear build, and then the next time you play an archer build. Maybe the archer build makes it so that bows fire quicker. Maybe there is a charm that allows you to dual wield swords, so you're doing a sword build and suddenly you have higher DPS like that. I think that sort of fantasy is just something that I really love and would probably be, if I could choose anything I want from Tears of the Kingdom, be my #1 wish. This is pretty selfish. Recently, as Breath of the Wild has been going on for a long time, actually, just recently we had its 6th birthday, like 2 or 3 days ago. The game officially turned 6 years old, which is kind of crazy. Let me think. I think I have all of the birds now, right? Yeah. Again, the entire reason I'm running around here is to do the Volota Shrine quest. Recently turns 6 years old now, and obviously not only me, but like thousands, literally thousands of content creators have tried out different challenge runs and had different content ideas for the game. And I'm getting to the point where I like thinking about challenge runs, like what has not been done before, and sometimes I have cool ideas, but they all are either they end up being kind of lame, or have already been done before. I think that's something that this specific build, right, this build variety change could really change. One thing that people do, for example, in Elden Ring, I know, I bring it up a lot, but it's probably like my favorite casual video game right now, and it's super popular on YouTube, is that people do speedruns for specific weapons. I absolutely adore that idea. I guess technically you could do that in Breath of the Wild. You could say I'm doing a Frost Spear speedrun where I'm only allowed to use the Frost Spear to deal damage, but it's just so much more boring because the game is clearly not made for you to be able to really do that. Like, you are able to do it, but again, because there's no build variety and no way to optimize, the game is balanced around you using the whatchamacallit, is using all of your different weapons and even the Master Sword and stuff, that it just gets kind of, it just doesn't really, it's not really fun. And I think the option of introducing builds in the form of charms or specific buffs, it could even be introducing more specific food buffs to the game that are not just movement speed and attack power and defense. I personally would really love that. Now let me head over here and put in the right combination real quick into the Volota Shrine, which is gonna be 4, 5, 3. Basically, you start at 4 and then you go to the right, always skipping one of the stones. If you ever had issues memorizing how to activate the shrine, that's my tip for you today. Get it on the ground. It's, again, this is what the channel is all about. It's been kind of like an unstructured rant about my probably biggest wish for Tears of the Kingdom. And again, let me put the wish, let me really like underline the wish part. I don't think that we are gonna get that. Maybe to some extent, like maybe they introduce more food buffs or more specific armor buffs to make that become a little bit more true. But at the end of the day, those sort of mechanics are really normally more in your RPG type game. But that's the thing, Hollow Knight, I think, while everyone could basically play their vessel the way they wanted it to, still had like a set in stone character that also was that also introduced some sort of build options, build variety by using the charm system. I think the charm system in general is very genius. Okay, we're gonna watch this cutscene here of the birds flying away, and then I'm probably already gonna call it for today. Because I am dreading what will be happening in tomorrow's episode when there's going to be 66 days till Tears of the Kingdom. We're getting really close to the official 2 months until the game comes out now, mark. But yeah, we are going to be heading into Hebra, which I'm not looking forward to. I need to pick out some easy to talk about topics in advance before I head there, because it's gonna get headache inducing, making sure to not miss a Korok. But once I'm out of Hebra, we will probably get close to, yeah, the last like 100-ish, 150-ish Korok seeds. Really making good progress now. I just hit 81%. So looking forward to be 100% of the game soon. Thank you for sticking with me once again.
Is now ready.
Also, you, Rivali, always good to have you around. And thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.